Classification of cosmeceuticals. We will see the differences between the cosmetics and cosmeceuticals, as well as the what is the exact meaning of cosmetic and cosmeceuticals. Now, the cosmeceuticals can be defined as any kind of cosmetics or any kind of product with an activity which is intended for the treatment purpose or the prevention purpose, especially for the skin. So that will be called as a cosmeceuticals, as well as cosmeceuticals can be termed as a subclass of cosmetics. So it is called as the one another part of your cosmetic. In US, cosmeceuticals can only be regarded as a subclass of the drug also. It means we can say they are also called as a drug, they are also called as the cosmetics. But uh, in general, we can say cosmeceuticals are little bit active than your cosmetics, and they are less active than the actual drugs. So in simple way, little bit we can say the cosmeceuticals are nothing but the medicated type of cosmetics which are having the much more activeness than your cosmetics. Cosmetics are meant only for a superficial action, but the cosmeceuticals can go reach to the your skin or the deeper into the skin, and they can elicit the action very fast than your cosmetics. Then, in short, we can say the product has a pharmaceutical activity and can be used on normal or near normal skin. The product should have the definite or the benefit for the minor skin disorders. As the skin disorder is mild, the product should have the very low risk profile. Now, the classification of your cosmeceuticals. Under the cosmeceuticals, there are the so many agents are there. They are termed as the cosmeceuticals. So the this kind of cosmeceuticals we are utilizing for the treatment of your skin. So the first one is the photo aging agents, then peeling agents, then sebum regulators, then hair growth enhancers, moisturizers, botanical extracts, topical retinoids, and depigmentation agents. So these all are related to your skin. Now, very short, we'll see what is meant by the photoaging agents. Actually, this kind of photoaging agents are used for the prevention of your aging of the skin. So, depending on the environmental factors or depending on the age, generally there is the causes of your skin aging. It means your skin is look like old. So, to avoid the such kind of aging due to the exposure of the lights or the ultraviolet lights or the sunlights, so this kind of agents we can use to avoid the such kind of exposure and to get the natural gloss of your skin retained. For that purpose, we are using the photo aging agents. Generally, there are so many clinical conditions because of that photoaging maybe starts. Photoaging means uh, your skin looks like old as it is exposing to the light or the as it exposing to the sun rays. These are the various moisturizers we are utilizing with the help of photo aging agents. Now, another category of your cosmeceutical is the your moisturizers, which we have earlier discussed in moisturizing cream. But what are the moisturizing creams are there? They can be we can say modified by adding the such kind of cosmeceuticals or any active ingredient. Suppose you are adding as a therapeutic ingredient or drug, then your normal cosmetics will be termed as a cosmeceuticals with the we can say highly active reaction. Generally, these moisturizers we are utilizing for the uh, avoiding the dryness of your skin or to restore the required amount of moisture into the skin. So such kind of moisturizer are normally we are using in the normal cosmetics also. But if you are adding any ingredient which is having the more potent action toward the retaining your moisture into the skin, then that kind of cosmeceuticals will be turned as a, we can say, highly active material. So that normal cosmetics we have converted into the cosmeceuticals by addition of the simply any kind of good moisturizing agents. These are the creams we can utilize with the help of moisturizer also. So in these moisturizers, we can have the addition of the various kind of agents. Now the next one is the retinoid is there. In the retinoids, these retinoids with electrophobic biological effects we can add. Generally, it is having the activity of modulation of the epidermal cell differentiation and the sebocyte de-differentiation. Then along with retinoid, we can use the isotretinoin also, then adapalene also, then tazarotene also. These are the agents we can add it into your normal cosmetics to turn it into the cosmeceuticals. Along with your normal cosmetics, we can provide the hormones as well as the vitamins also for the refilling of the deficiencies of your skin. Hydroxy acids, carboxylic acids like alpha and beta type of acids we can provide with the help of your cream. Then sebum regulating agents. This kind of sebum regulating agents we can also provide along with your cream or along with your normal cosmetics. So these sebum regulators are having the activity to regulate the normal functionings of your skin, and they can isolate the sebous glands, and is consist of mainly the Sibyllian waxes, esters of that waxes, triglycerides. This sebum in health means we can require your sebum regulators for the normal functioning of your skin. Then hair growth enhancers are there. These are the various kind of ingredients nowadays they are preferred much more, because nowadays hair loss is the common problem for most of peoples. So this kind of hair growth stimulators or the enhancers are there. Generally we can use into the in the form of hair creams, or we can apply with the help of normal cream. But because of the addition of this hair growth enhancers, your normal hair cream is becoming a cosmeceuticals. Examples are monoxidil topical solution is there, then finasteride is there which can be added into the your cream. Then these are the various problems of your hairs, that is alopecia, diffuse alopecia. Then another one is the botanical extracts. So these are the natural originated extracts we can obtain from the different uh, source of your natural plants. So here, depending on their active utilization, we can add into the any kind of cosmetics. Here simply we can say your normal cosmetics will act as a mediator or the carrier for this active ingredients, and when we are adding this active ingredient into your cosmetics, then your cosmetics will be termed as cosmeceuticals. Then topical retinoids are also there. They can be utilized with the help of creams. Then deep pigmentation agents are there. These are utilized for the facial pigmentary disorders. This kind of depigmentation agents are having the various kind of utilization in the condition of melasma, solar latigo, pigmented cosmetic dermatitis, then melanoma. So in various kind of diseases or conditions, we can utilize your depigmentation agents. Then hydroquinone, arbutin, allergic acid, kojic acid, ascorbic acid. These are utilized as a depigmentation agents. Cosmeceuticals can be defined as per the Albert Kligman. Actually, this terminology was derived in 1980 by the dermatologist Albert Kligman. So, this cosmeceutical is an ingredient with the medical properties which manifest beneficial topical action and provide the protection against the degenerative skin conditions. So here the term your cosmeceuticals means what? Which can utilize for the various kind of protection purpose, degenerative action of the skin purpose, as well as protection, as well as medical use. So these are so many things are covered by this terminology. So in 1980, the concept of cosmeceutical was derived. Then the Food and Drug Administration Act, they have determined your cosmetics means what? As per the FDC, the cosmeceuticals is nothing but the product can be a drug, can be a cosmetic, or a combination of both. But the term cosmeceutical has no meaning under the law. So here they have we can say define as this is nothing but the one cosmetics type, one drug type also, or combination of cosmetics plus pharmaceutical also. So when we are utilizing the principles of cosmeceuticals or the principles of your pharmaceutics along with the cosmetics, then what the product is developed, that will be called as a cosmeceuticals. So in simple way we can say your cosmetics we have improved by addition of any therapeutic agents, then they are termed as a cosmeceuticals. Now according to FDC, the cosmetics means what? These are the article intended to be rubbed or poured or sprinkled or sprayed on the your skin or on the human body for the cleansing purpose, beautifying purpose, promoting purpose, attractiveness purpose. They are called as the cosmetics. Now the drug means these are the articles which are intended for use in the diagnosis, curing purpose, mitigation purpose, treatment purpose, prevention of disease purpose. So these are called as a drug. Now the cosmeceuticals are broadly utilized for the skin, for the hair, and any other purpose. So most of the cosmeceuticals are utilized as a deodorant, moisturizers, facial products are there. That is the we can say more proportion of cosmeceuticals are we are using for the facial care purpose. Then various creams are prepared for the skin purpose. Various lotions are used or prepared. So these are the cosmeceuticals which are utilized for the skin purpose. Then for the hair purpose also, hair coloring agents are there, conditioning agents are there, gels are prepared for the hair, and remaining are the your general category, that is the toothpaste and tooth powder. So very rarely we are using that kind of cosmeceuticals, but we are preparing them for the skin and the hair. Now the little bit differentiation of your product from cosmetic to the your cosmeceuticals. Now the examples is there, that is deodorant is a cosmetic, okay, but antiperspirant is a drug. So when we are using the deodorant along with the antiperspirant, then that will be termed as a cosmeceuticals. Then shampoo, your normal shampoo can be act as a cosmetics, but an particular anti-dandruff shampoo containing the anti-dandruff agent will be called as a cosmeceutical. So we can say anti-dandruff is the one agent which we have added into the shampoo. Anti-dandruff is a drug. Then skin exfoliant is a cosmetic, but skin peel is a drug. These are examples they have given. Skin moisturizer is a cosmetic, but wrinkle remover is a drug. When we are making the combination of wrinkle remover plus skin moisturizer, then it will be called as a your cosmeceuticals. These are the common ingredients which we are utilizing in the your cosmeceuticals like UV protective agents, exfoliants, alpha hydroxy acids, then beta hydroxy acids, retinoids, moisturizers, antioxidants, peptides, and depigmenting agents. So these are the most of agents we are utilizing in the most of your cosmeceuticals. Then this is the another one parameter, that is UV protection, exfoliants, alpha hydroxy acids, and their utilization. These are the retinoids which are utilized for the treatment of mild to moderate acne purpose. Moisturizers are added for the imparting the smoothness to your skin. Antioxidants are added to avoid the your oxidation, as well as to provide the uh, we can say nutrients to your skin. Peptides are added to stimulate the skin metabolism and repair the damages of your skin. So these are the various kind of reagents we can add it into your cosmetics. So advantage of cosmetics are like that. These cosmeceuticals can be utilized as a safe as well as a long-term purpose. They are safe. There is no that much potential disadvantages. As well as your cosmeceuticals promote the beauty throughout the health as well as the wellness of your skin. So cosmeceuticals with the natural ingredients are preferred. So normally we can say your normal cosmetics is are having the benefit, but that normal cosmetics can be improved with the addition of your such kind of ingredients which are specially meant for the uh, specific type of activity on your skin. So when we are adding such kinds of ingredient, then your normal cosmetics can be improved. So here advantages will be increased. Then these are the specific type of evaluation parameters are there. That is, we can take when we are using the cosmeceuticals. When we are applying the your cosmeceuticals, then generally that preparation must be tested for the various kind of activity. For example, moisturization is there or the moisturizer we are using, then that cosmeceutical can be tested for the conductance and impedance test of that cream. Then skin barrier function suppose is there. Suppose you are applying any kind of scheme, any kind of cream which is having the protection against your sun, then how the your that cream is efficient to protect your skin from the sun burning. So here we have to find out the its factor, that is TEWL, transepidermal water loss factor we have to find out. Then skin structure is there. Suppose any moisturizer cream you are utilizing, then how the your skin structure is changed or not. Then by using the topography we can check the, or we can evaluate your product's efficiency. Then skin elasticity can be checked by help of elastometer. Then skin thickness is utilized or measured by using the ultrasound technology. Then blood flow is checked by the help of laser Doppler. So sebum oiliness we can check by the sebumeter. Then color can be checked with the help of chromometer. So these all are the, you can say, instruments we are utilizing to evaluate your cosmeceuticals by checking either your skin, by checking either your preparations. Then your products checking or your product, we can say, evaluation. Generally, all the cosmeceuticals, depending on their form, like whether they are semi-solid, whether they are powder form, whether they are liquid state. So depending on then we can have the testing of that product. So generally we can carry out the in vitro testing of that product. In vitro testing means by utilizing the animals, we can check that activity of that product with the help of rat or rabbit. Then we can use check the cumulative irritation testing. So by with the help of animals or the human volunteers also we can use for checking the irritation testing. Whatever the product we have prepared for the skin purpose, whether it is having any irritation action or it is safe, or whether it is causing any kind of edema. So we have to check it by using the irritating testing. Then a repeat insult patch test is there, that is called as the, we can say, normal testing on your skin, whether it is having the allergic reaction with your skin or not. So for that purpose, we can check with the help of repeat insult patch test. Normal or very small amount of that product we can apply on the skin, and we can observe for the any possible irritation, redness, edema, swelling. Then sensitization test is there. For example, any kind of your cream or any liquid is there for the hair purpose, we are utilizing. So it may be sensitive to your scalp, it may be sensitive to your skin, or it may sensitive to your eyes. So most probably the sensitization test should be carried out to find out the that sensitiveness or the degree of sensitization of that product. So by applying on the skin of the rat or animals, we can check the sensitization. Also, we can use the certified human volunteers. Then ocular irritation is there. So many products are there which are utilized near to your eye, or they are utilized for your skin. So there might be possible that eye irritation may be developed because of that product. So we can check the ocular irritation by using the animals, or with the help of animal study we can find out the ocular irritation. Then facial sting is there, whether your product is safe for the facial skin or not, whether it is making good elasticity to your skin or not. That one also we have to check. Then phototoxicity also we have to check, whether your product is sensitive to the sunlight or not, whether it is having the ability to cause the any we can say reaction with your sunlight, and it is going to turn into the third product. It means whether it is compatible with the your photo light or not, that we have to check. Then photo allergy we have to check after application of that product, and when we are exposing to the sunlight. So it is, whether it is causing any type of allergic reaction in the presence of sunlight or not. Then acnegenicity and comedogenicity we have to find out, whether after application of that product is it causing any kind of acne type of problem or comedo type of problem or not. So such kind of uh, test we have to carry out for the checking of the efficiency of your product. Then these are the there are the several naturally occurring reagents are there nowadays. We can say that herbal phenomena is there, that we are preparing the herbal products. So uh, today we are having the various kind of ingredients which can be acted as a sunscreen agent. So from the plant originator material we have prepared the extracts, and that extract are tetrahydrocurcuminoids. It means from the curcumin we have extracted tetrahydrocurcuminoids. Then sabi white is there, green tea extract, sesame antioxidants, then ambelliferin. So this is extracted from the plants which are belongs to the family Ambelliferis. Then xylosine is there. Then rosemary extract. Then rosmarinic acid. Then lipiolol. Then arginolic acid. So nowadays they are famous and they are utilized tremendously in the various kind of your sunscreen agents for the preparation of as a herbal type of cosmeceuticals.